So I've had Denny's this morning, omelet, hash browns, etc. The hot question though was cubed or shredded.
Hash browns? I'm a shredded guy.
Yes. Oh.
Shredded. But cubed, there's more options than those two, though.
Yeah.
You're talking to a fat guy. Okay. All right. Shredded for sure. Yeah. There you go. Tough day, Seb.
Go ahead, guys.
Corey, Logan Ferland is beginning reps at tackle. What has given you the confidence to put him out there, potentially start him out there, and give him a shot this week?
Logan could play center, left tackle. He can play all five. And he's proven to do that. He's jumped around throughout his career. He's shown to take reps at it this year as well throughout camp, and with just the injuries that we've had, just taking practice reps at it. So we feel very confident out there. Honestly, if that was his spot, I think he could be a perennial starter at right tackle in this league. So we feel comfortable at it. I think as well, just the potential of having a swap with Nick and Ferland for whatever combination we feel for each week. We have that luxury to do it. Having Nick just being so fresh here, being inside, he can talk to his left and his right with a veteran. But if we feel that the matchup, we better put him out there. I mean, it's just we're lucky to have the guys that are available that can do that.
Trevor, you said might be expected to start this week. Is he starting this week?
Well, I'll make that decision tomorrow, but I thought today he progressed better than he did yesterday. Again, we just, I just want to make sure that he feels great and make sure that when we're watching the tape that, he's doing everything as far as timing-wise with his guys. But, even having reps from Shea, even Shea taking reps against our defense, I mean, we're getting better. I mean, everything happened the way it did, and it really, I think we came out to be better for what we're seeing. So, again, I'll make the decision at the end of the week, but, so far, so good.
How much do you pull from this first Montreal game, specifically with Davis Alexander and when he came into the game?
Yeah, I mean, now, he's got just kind of similar to Shea, right, when Shea first started. I personally, I've seen Davis prior to that, in years prior, games that we have coached against him. But just, how he's been able to, what it looks like having full weeks under his belt now. So there's a little bit more of a full book on him and how Jason likes to deploy him. It's good, I think, just for game plan and situation, but you can definitely pull a lot of stuff because he did a lot of good stuff, or a lot of stuff well that first time that we saw him. But, in the same breath, we got to be prepared for whoever we could see. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not Davis, so we'll see.
How hard or difficult when you're talking with Trevor or AJ or Jameer in making the decision for them to play when you try to find that balance between the good for the team and the good for the player? How difficult is that?
For me, not really, because majority of the time I'm gonna really just sit down and talk to the player. Do they feel comfortable being out there? Because I know the answer, regardless if they feel comfortable or not, they're always going to choose to play because they want to do that for their teammates. But we honestly believe in a lot of the people in this locker room that if it is not them, that we believe that the person behind them can help the team. So for me, it's just, the risk reward of not being so stubborn, which, a lot of football players are because they feel like they give themselves the best chance to help the team to win. But looking at the totality of a season and, how physical this game is, it's easy for me to just see if they feel comfortable actually playing, so we can be patient if we have to be.
So obviously there's a lot of mutual trust and respect then in that instance. And is that the biggest factor, that conversation with the athlete as to whether they go or not, or is that just one of many factors that you
Yeah, one of many. I mean, for sure that's a great place to start, I believe, but if it is trending to the direction that they feel comfortable they want to play, I mean, we have to see it, right? So we're not just going to put somebody out there just to put them out there because who they've been or what they were. you have, the standard is the standard. I know you guys hear me say it is. If you're not playing to it and you're not healthy, then that doesn't make sense for anybody, right? So, sometimes the guys might not like it that they have to wait a couple extra weeks, but I think they know where it's coming from me. So it's not from ill will. It's not because anybody's trying to throw shade or anything like that. It's because I actually care for them to be the best version of themselves physically to help us as the season progresses.
Corey, what are your thoughts on Jameer Thurman's powers of healing? I mean, so quick after only missing one game. Is that pretty remarkable when you look at it?
Honestly, I'd like to say we're built the same, but it's not the truth, Thurman puts so much time into his body, not just in the weight room, but how he takes care of himself outside of the facility, with his treatments, how I don't know how much the guy probably spends for, chiro, massage, all this extra stuff. So he truly treats his body as the most important thing, sleep, rest, how he eats. So to see him and his work ethic, how he can recover from things and or push through certain things that maybe the average person can't, doesn't shock me, because he's just a worker and he treats his body as what it is. And for him, it's the most important thing physically as it pertains to his job. So doesn't shock me at all.
Both kicks blocked last week were by defensive tackles. Is there a history of block kicks on your resume?
No, God, no. I don't think my back was so bad I couldn't get off the ball and strike like these jokers do, So, no, that's just a credit to, Kent and Coach Phil and obviously the players taking heed to the techniques. I mean, there's certain techniques that they're being taught and how to get these things accomplished. And, Lanier got the first one, which you would assume it's always a Lanier type, someone 6'5", 6'6", long range. But then, you got Caleb and Miles blocking the kicks, and they're 5'6" on a good day. So I'm joking. But it's their technique that they use to accomplish what they're being coached. And honestly, obviously, we love it. So we can continue to put it on tape. It's great. But I think the main thing was the mentality of these guys, understanding that, field goal defend. If you look across the league, a lot of teams use it as a play off. Let me just engage. Of course, the kicker's going to make it. Not with us. You're going to have to earn your check on that play.
Coach, you've had plenty of receivers this year with plus 100-yard games. Do you think a testament to that is the fact that they're always the last ones to come into the locker room?
It's not. You get out what you put in. And usually when it ends up happening is, oh, hey, somebody just got on and the targets are coming and they're capitalizing. They work hard. They have since the first day of camp. It's a deep room. There's even a couple other guys who haven't had an opportunity yet who I think are phenomenal receivers. They're patient and they study hard. A lot of these guys can play multiple positions as well. And our quarterbacks, obviously, you have to find them. You have so many different options. But when there's opportunity for them, they capitalize on that. And that's the time that they spend, with each other, the time they spend with their quarterbacks, and ultimately how they're being coached and, how they approach their meetings. So they're constant winners. They win in everything they do, not just the game.
Coach, I know your focus is obviously on this week and getting a win against Montreal, but just any thoughts on Nathan Rourke making a return to the CFL? Obviously, BC is a team you're fighting for first in the West right now.
Nathan, he's in the CFL?
He's coming back, yeah.
Nathan Rourke signed back?
Sure did this morning.
I'm joking, of course. Focus is Montreal, but I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I think everybody knows Nathan's a heck of a player, and I'm sure BC's happy to have him. I know he's got a place out there in Port Moody, so I'm sure, he's happy to be back there, and, he's a great player, and, when we see them, we see them. Shoot, I should say. We play them, our focus will be them, to beat them, go 1-0 that week, but this week, it's laser Montreal.
How is Philip Blake recovering from his injury? Is on track, and do you still expect to maybe see him this year? Or?
Yeah, we're going to see him in a couple weeks, actually. So he's going to be hop back on the plane with us from Toronto. He's coming back to Regina. He's attacking it. That's the one thing, it's unfortunate. We've lost a lot of people to injury, but what I love most is guys are choosing to stay in Regina to get their rehab. So, a lot of those guys, you can't do a lot of rehab after the initial injury and surgery. But as soon as they can, they're coming back here to get it. So they're putting themselves in the best position possible to potentially give us the option to come back. And Philip's certainly one of those guys, and we're excited. I can't wait to see Philip and have him on the plane back here in Regina.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.